All right, hello and welcome back. Brett here with Clickmill.co. In this video, we are going to get into queries. So let's look at that. Okay, so first thing is, what is a query? Okay, so you'll notice here on the Google search or the search results, that is a G, so that is Google search results. But we're going to scroll down here and we're going to come to queries. Okay, now what is a query? Okay, so when we go over to a search engine, excuse me, and we type a term in, the user types the term in. This is called querying the search engine. So technically, this is called a query. Now, what did they really put in here? They just put a keyword in here. Now, technically, like we said, this is a query. Well, what shows up are search results. And in those search results are, oh my goodness, are the keywords. So the keyword goes into the page and matches the query. Now, how do we know what a keyword is? Well, there are tools and platforms that track queries. And when you add up a bunch of queries, they just call it a keyword. So it's really easy just to call a query a keyword. Technically, it's not. We're just going to refer to it as a keyword because it's a little bit easier to, I think, follow. So queries is when you put this into the search term into the search engine as the user. Okay. Keywords is technically when they show, when you use that query in your information so that you show up, your keyword targeted content shows up for the query better. Okay. So coming back over here though, queries, this is how many times people searched this term in Google. So, for example, we'll just, I guess, look at the top one here, sermon topics. Okay, so sermon topics over the last 16 months has been clicked on. How do I know this is? Oh, there we go. Okay, we're looking at all of them. So I have all of them on. Has been searched and clicked on 5,764 times. Now, if we go over here, we have 72,000 impressions, 7.9% click-through rate, 6.4 average position. Okay, so when we're looking at a query, this is basically just a keyword. Okay, so when we're looking at queries, these are the keywords people are typing into the search engine to find the content of your site or your client's site. And then you can start to look at these same four metrics for each of these pages. And that's really important because, again, in the same way, the date when you zoom in, it looks different than when you zoom out. Well, the same thing is true. You can look at one article and it will look totally different from another article. For example, or one keyword from another keyword. So probably, and I don't know for sure, we would have to get further into the data, but you've got this query with sermon topics and you have this query down here with Bible topics for preaching. Well, why do we have a click-through rate of almost 8 here, but only 4.5 here? That seems really weird. Why is that? And not only that, why is the position 6.5 here and 6.6 here? Or 6, I guess 6.4 and 6.6. So the click-through rate, super different. That's, 3 points different. But over here, position is essentially exactly the same. Why is that the case? Why do we have such a low click-through rate, but everything else appears to be relatively normal? Okay, so you can have fluctuations in the data query by query or keyword by keyword, however we want to term that. And so looking at the more granular view here, even shifting the time frames around. For example, if I focus that time frame here and then compared it to this time frame here, we might start to identify some of the reasons for that drop, or here and here. And then we can start looking at that by query. And then maybe what we find out is the biggest blogs on the site dropped for some specific reason and everything else stayed the same. That's why we still have that little bit of a gap. Okay, so this is using queries. In the next video, we're going to get over to pages. We'll see you there.